Everyone, it's Janet Wakeland with RemarkablyCreated.com. In today's One Take Wonder video, we are going to do a very quick overview of all of the adhesives in the 2014 Stampin' Up! Catalog. The cover of the catalog looks like this so that we know we're talking about the same catalog, and all of the adhesives can be found on page 204 and 205. And there's a lot of different kinds. Now, your first question that you may be thinking is, do I need all of those different kinds of adhesives? Well, yes and no. No, you don't need all of those different kinds if you're only going to make one type of project. If you're going to create and craft with a variety of different types of papers, different types of embellishments and ribbons, then yes, you're going to need an assortment of adhesives. It would be like telling an auto mechanic he can pick one wrench and one wrench only to work on a car. Of course, if he's going to work on a variety of different cars, he needs different wrenches. The same thing with a carpenter having only one type of hammer or screwdriver or nail. There's a lot of different adhesives for different reasons. So let's just jump right in because there's a lot to go through, and I warn you this video may be a little longer than what you're used to, but we'll try to go kind of fast. And at other times we'll view them individually, but I think it's kind of fun to look at them collectively as a group. Just to give you a better overview. So the most common adhesive that you're going to see and use is called our Snail Adhesive. And it does look like a little bit of a snail. It is a runner type of adhesive. This is the main part. When you first buy it, it comes like this with the holder. And then this is the refill that you will put into it. Okay? And you simply just are going to take and get your adhesive out. You want to take the little cardboard piece out, and then you just take this and you just drop it right in. There's only one way that it can go in, and then it does have a little protective cap to keep the adhesive from sticking to everything else. And then to work with this adhesive, let's go ahead and take our card. Cards have two sides. I never waste a side. And you're just going to go ahead and put as much adhesive just by running it right along, which is why it's called a runner type adhesive. How much you use is up to you. Some people like lots and lots of adhesive. Some people are very frugal and like to just put a little bit in the corners. Again, how much you use is going to be up to you. One thing about adhesive, a couple of variables will be humidity that you're working in, as well as then whether the cardstock that you're working with or the items that you're working with have a type of texture. Snail is not good on the surface of our glimmer paper, for example. It's really great on your smoother cardstocks. So Snail, again, is your very basic adhesive that you're going to work with, and it's a runner type of adhesive. Another very basic adhesive that I love to work with are our dimensionals, and they do come in a pack with 3 sheets, and of course now I'm not going to be able to get them open. And so you have these, and they're called dimensionals because they're used for just that, to give something dimension, and you can simply just pull them off. You're going to put it where you want it to be, and then there's another little backing, so they are double-sided. And now let's just kind of space that apart. And now when I get ready to add this flower to the front of the card, it will be raised up from the surface, giving it some dimension. There's also no rule that says you only have to use one dimensional. You most definitely can stack them together to make them a little higher if you would like them. But it's kind of nice having the small thin ones because then you have that option of raising them up if you would like. Dimensions are also great on some of your larger buttons and things. They're a very sticky adhesive, so they're great on some of your larger buttons and things like that. One of the tips that I was given a long time ago, and let's put that someplace where we're not going to stick to it later, is that around the edge of the dimensionals as you pull them out, they're done in this honeycomb shape, but there's a strip around the edge of it, and I don't know if I can get to it. Hold on a second. And I used to throw those away, but you have this nice strip. These are great when you're trying to raise up borders and edges, so don't throw those away. Go ahead and save them, even though they're not the traditional honeycomb shaped dimensional. They will have use for you. So those are our dimensionals, and again, very nice, simple adhesive to work with. Now another type of adhesive that you have to work with are our glue dots. And I grabbed the wrong ones. These are old discontinued ones. Sorry to taunt you and tease you. But we have these nice small glue dots. And it works great by taking, and I have the dimensional on the back of that. Let's just roll that off. Taking your item right to these glue dots. On larger elements like a button, I usually like to put 2 or 3 of them. There's a couple hundred on the roll. And now I can go ahead and take that right to the center of my flower. And then I have this little bow that I've already created. Again, I can just press right into the glue dot, lift, and now put that in the center of my button. So glue dots are great when you have small little spaces. Another idea for glue dots might be smaller images like these letters. You can go ahead and catch some of the corners of them if you want to go ahead and put a letter down somewhere like that. Smaller punch shapes and things like that are great. Again, your really small buttons. This is also great if you need sometimes to tack down a corner somewhere. You can take your glue dot. I like to take either the paper piercing tool or the point of the scissors, and I can come up in under an edge. And let's just, like here for example, if there's a popped up edge, and I can work that down just like that. Since I have this project out, I will use that with glue. Okay, so those are your glue dots. Again, a great project to work with. Another wonderful basic adhesive is our sticky strip, and this is sticky. It is double-sided, and let me get it out of the pack. Well, you know, it's like a little kid at Christmas that just can't get things open. And of course, it's always, well, you're trying to show somebody else. If I was just playing it by myself right now in my craft room, it would work out just fine. Well, of course, hot, humid Pennsylvania right now. So it is sticky, and you've got this nice long line. A couple of different ways to use this. I like to use it with ribbon, and let's just run this across the bottom of the card. Since it is really sticky, you want to use old scissors with it. You don't want to use your good paper snips or your ribbon scissors with it because they will gum up. To clean adhesive off of scissors, Goo Gone, which is available at your local craft stores, is a great cleaner for your scissors. So I've got adhesive across the bottom of this card, and now I can go ahead and pull the red line up. Sometimes you'll hear people call this red line tape because it does have this red line across the bottom, and I should have already had this on just to show you, but I really want you to experience it. And a little tip with this, what I like to do when I'm working with sticky strip is I like to put a little line of adhesive down just to catch those so they don't fly away. So let's take our ribbon now, and just to show you one of the reasons why I like to work with this with ribbon is I can go ahead and lay that ribbon down, go, oh, you know what, I really don't like that, and I can kind of lift it back up again. And in this instance, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, but it's really a strong adhesive, and so once I get this down the way that I want it to, I'll go ahead and I'll add my little pieces, but you can just kind of see where we're going with that. But again, I can say, oh, I don't like it, and I can pull it up, okay? And then I'll be able to use the dimensional that's on the back of that to adhere that together. So this card has snail, it has glue dots, it has dimensionals, and it has sticky strip on it to help hold everything together that you see here. Now some other types, oh, and the other thing that sticky strip is absolutely amazing for is little boxes. And this is our new really cute little French fry box. It is a Big Shot die, and it uses half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And to hold this securely, we would want to put sticky strip on the project, and then that would hold it nice and secure and tight. So I really like to use sticky strip on anything that's going to be handled a lot. Anything here that, like when I start to put treats in it, the seams might be stressed a little bit by what's in it or the weight of something. Of course, on journals and things like that. Just a little side tip for you, this little mini French fry box is the size of a Wendy's Child's French fry container. We compared them the other day, so that was fun for you. So that's sticky strip. Another type of adhesive that we have is we have this liquid adhesive, and it does, okay, have a nice tip on it. It's the It's the liquid I like to use when I'm gluing rhinestones, like I did here on my gratitude journal. The loose rhinestones I pulled off of our sequin trim, I held on with the liquid glue. Smaller things, we've got some beautiful new in colors now. Oops, that's a little too much, Janet. The only trouble that I have with liquid glue is I am like a kid in kindergarten during art class. I end up with it all over my fingers, and how I do that is still beyond me. But I just can be a very messy stamper, and so me and liquid glue don't always get along. And the other issue that I have with liquid glue is that I can also be impatient. I like to keep moving, and of course, because it's liquid, it does have a drying time. So that's the only downside, but boy, does it stick and does it work. And so here I just used it to put little bows on the banner that I'm creating for this card right here. So that's liquid glue for you. And again, using it with your flat sequins, using it with little knotted pieces of ribbon and things like that. So your liquid glue can be great. A lot of people also like to use their liquid glue with their letters to hold them down in scrapbooks and things like that. So that's your liquid glue for you. Let's see, what's next? Let's look at our two-way glue pen. Our two-way glue pen can be both a permanent adhesive and a temporary adhesive. And this one is wrapped really good. I tried to leave all of them in their wrapping. I know it takes a few extra seconds for me to open them, but I wanted you to see how they come packaged, so that when you get it, you'll go, wait a minute, that didn't look like what I saw in the video. And so, little truth in advertising, I guess, by showing you exactly the way it comes. And also, some of them, like this one, require you to do something to start using it, besides getting the lid off of it. There we go. You can see that it's white on the tip right now. And so what you need to do is you need to pump it up and down until you start to see blue in the tip. And if you can think of blue glue, when it is blue, it is sticky like glue. And now you can see where the tip is blue, and I've worked glue up into it. And so when I'm going to work with it, and we'll just go ahead here, and I'm going to add in between the Bermuda Bay colors, and I know you're not quite dry, adhesive. And right now, because it's blue, it's sticky, which means that I could go ahead and I could add glitter right here, and it would stick to that glue. Now, if I want something temporary, like a Post-it note or something, if I let this dry, it will become tacky. And when I work with glitter, I simply just, and let's see if I can do this without knocking. I should have, you know what, let's put this aside and let's do it differently. Let's put a little bit of glitter on this really pretty new lace background card. And let's just glitter up some of the flowers. So again, when it comes out blue, that means glue, and so it's ready to hold a little bit. And we'll just do a few of them. I can always go back and do more. We're going to take and sprinkle our glitter over it. Shake it off. And then one of the things that I like to do is just kind of rub it in so that it adheres, and then you can see that there's a little bit of sparkle there. So two-way glue is great for adding glitter to things. Two-way glue is also one of the ones that I like to use because of its chisel tip for letters, or it was the one that I used. I have a new favorite now, and I'll show you that. But two-way glue can be great for working with your smaller letters and things like that. So when it's blue, it's working as an adhesive. When you dry and let it get to clear, then it has a temporary tack, kind of like a Post-it note for you. So that's another adhesive for you. And yet another type of adhesive that we have are our glue sticks. These are a cost-effective way. So if you've got lots and lots of cards that you're working with, or maybe young kids that you want to involve in your crafting, they have a new diamond shape to them, and you're simply just going to put them on your project and just pull them along, and you're going to get this nice adhesive then that you're going to be able to stick something to. Okay, so our two-way, or not two-way, our Stampin' Up! Glue sticks, and they do come to a package for you. So that's another type of adhesive for you. Let's see, what do we want to look at next? Let's look at our jumbo glue rounds. These are basically about a 2-inch circle, and they're called our jumbo sticky rounds, excuse me. And there are 6 on a sheet, 12 in a package, and they are double-sided adhesive. And so one of the ways that you can use them And I had, there it is, a black piece of paper. We're going to go ahead and put this in the center of this card, or thereabouts, close enough. And now we're going to go ahead and let's pull that up. You can die cut them a little bit smaller if you want them to be a little bit smaller. You can most certainly do that. And it will hold glitter. So the jumbo sticky rounds are great. And so I'm going to have a lot of fun embellishing and decorating with that. And just like I did with the Dazzling Diamonds, I like to turn it over and give it a good rub. So you can see where that's going to be some fun, and you can see our really pretty glitter there. Another way that we use our sticky rounds, it's great for making rolled ribbon flowers. And so let's just go ahead, and I'm not going to do a complete one. We've done a whole video on them. But again, I want you to get a feel just for all of the possibilities. And I have our new gold satin ribbon here, and we're going to start in the center. And I'm just going to twist it as I go, rolling this around, and it will stick to the adhesive. And then I'm also going to be able to pull it up off of the backing, and it will already be sticky, ready to be stuck onto something. So I'm just kind of twisting the ribbon around, and you can make it as tight or as loose as you want, just to kind of give you a feel. And then I'll be able to peel it off of the backing and put it onto a card. So our jumbo sticky rounds have some great craft applications, especially if you're making fun pins, you're making brooches and things like that. So that's our jumbo sticky rounds. That's another option for you. I want to set that aside so that I can finish that flower later. Something else fun that we have in the adhesive category is we have these things called shaker frames. And let's see if I can get this one open without the scissors. Everything's been challenging today. The adhesive they've used to close the packages, I guess, has been a great thing. And these are basically like dimensionals, but in the round. And you've got different sizes to work with. And what I did ahead of time was I took a piece of black cardstock that I punched a hole out of. And we're going to go ahead and adhere a piece of window acetate, and the window acetate is available in our catalog, over the opening, like so. And now I'm going to go ahead and take that sticky round and put it around the opening of the window, close enough. And I'm going to go ahead and peel the lining off. And then very carefully, I found some really fun confetti in an old drawer. I think we'll be revisiting some fun confetti shaker cards. I'll take some of this. I'm going to sprinkle it into the opening. You want to be careful not to get any on the sticky part. And now I can take my cardstock and lay that on top. And now I've got a really fun shaker card, and I've got my little goodies inside of it. So your jumbo sticky rounds are going to help you do some really fun shaker cards, also giving you some added raised dimension while you're working with it. So that's that. Another brand new adhesive for us as Stampin' Up! Demonstrators is our Fast Fuse. And I'm going to be honest with you, I waited for this video to use this for the very first time. I did read up on it just a little bit, but I thought it would be fun for us to learn together and for you to see somebody experience it for the very first time. It is what's called a runner adhesive, just like the Snail. It does have a replaceable cartridge. The replaceable cartridge, I read, has 8 yards more adhesive than the one that it comes with it, so it's a great deal. This one, what I'm learning, does have a little bit of a learning curve the more that I read up on it. And I was told by somebody that it's one of those adhesives that you really should read the directions on, as I tossed them into the trash a few seconds ago. With Snail, when you run it and lift it up, it simply breaks away. It's done. There's no little goobers or anything like that hanging out. With this one, what I saw when I watched some instructions on it, well, doggone it, is that if you just keep running like Snail and you go to pull, you get boogers. You get these snot boogers, and you don't want that. So what we want to do is you want to break the adhesive. As you're working with it, you want to pull it to the side and break it, and then you won't have those little goobers to work with. If you didn't if you manage to, like when I did it the first time, you can see where I have some adhesive stuck. You just want to roll it forward and then start over again. And then to break it, you just want to pull it off to the side. Just give it a quick little jerk. Just like, pretend like who you might, just a little flick of the wrist there, like a little bug or something you're flicking away. And then it will break it off for you. The tackiness of this, when I'm putting my fingers on both of them, I can already feel that it's more tacky than the Snail. And so it's a cross between sticky strip and Snail when you want just that little bit of extra. And let's see how it does on a box here together. Oh, flicking. Maybe it's good exercise. Maybe we'll get nice wrist out of it or something. So there's our little French fry box. Oh my gosh, these little French fry boxes are so cute. We will definitely be playing with those. Yeah, those are stuck good, guys, so that's really nice. That's great. Absolutely wonderful. So that's our Fast Fuse, and that's a new adhesive for us. Something else that we have that is not technically an adhesive, but is in our adhesive line, is we have our Adhesive Remover. And you can go ahead and just rub it across, and it will start to pick up that adhesive from places that you don't want. And then the other thing that we have is we have this silicone mat. And so maybe you have some type of adhesive or glue that you're working with, and you can go ahead and squirt it on, set your item in it, let it dry, peel it up, and the adhesive will come up. So it's kind of like a resist to adhesive, but it allows you, I can put a dab of hot glue and maybe I'm wrapping a flower. I can put a dab of Crystal Effects, and I can work on the silicone mat. So the silicone mat is a great thing to work on. Another adhesive that we have is Crystal Effects, and it works like the two-way glue in that it has two options. It has the stickiness of glue, but it also has tackiness if you allow it to dry. In addition, Crystal Effects can be mixed with re-inkers to give it different colors. And Crystal Effects is great for crafting when you want to give a nice kind of a Mod Podge sheen or finish to things. Here, the shiny effect that sealed this whole pin together was done with Crystal Effects. It was squeezed down inside. Also, maybe you're trying to give a clear effect to eyes or water, or maybe you want a shiny center to flowers that's slightly raised. Crystal Effects is great for that. You want to be really careful with Crystal Effects that you don't shake it and get air bubbles in it, because as you squeeze it out, you'll get air bubbles that are kind of hard to pop and to get rid of. So Crystal Effects. Crystal Effects is also an adhesive. The card that I did with my little bows on it that I knocked off, you could also have used Crystal Effects. So some things have multiple purposes, and so you could also have used Crystal Effects on that card as well. So that's another type of adhesive for you. And then the last adhesive that I want to show you today, look at our crazy mess here, let's fold it up another way, is my new favorite. We've always had it, but we had it in these unwieldy big 12 by 12 sheets. And so now we have it in these smaller 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 sheets. And what they're called is our adhesive transfer sheets. And sometimes you have items like our new scallop that once you get it all ready to go, you're wondering, how am I going to put adhesive on all of these loops? Or our hexagon, and you're wondering about how you're going to get adhesive again on all of these lines. The narrow parts of our frame. So sometimes you've got elements like that and you're wondering, how in the heck am I going to put adhesive on them? Well, what I did was I took a piece of black cardstock, and let's go ahead. Well, actually, I cut a piece of cardstock to show you exactly what I did. Let's set that aside and we'll pop it off in just a second. First off, again, the sheet, like I said, is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. There is a little piece on the back to get it going. I have my cardstock cut and ready. And I'm going to peel that off. Now, this entire sheet is sticky. So if you have a cat that likes to visit your workspace, or you've got stuff all over the place like I do, you just want to be really careful that you don't let things land in it, because again, it is very sticky, and the whole surface is. And we're just going to lay that down and give it a good rub. And it adds just a little bit of thickness to it, and now you can run it through the Big Shot machine. You can punch it, and the piece that you punch out is going to have an adhesive backing, because what you'll do then is you'll just simply peel this backing off because it is double-sided, and your piece will be sticky, and that's what I have right here. I went ahead and ran this through, and now I can simply pop out all my little pieces and pull my frames out of here, and then it will be sticky. Okay, so when I finally get done popping all, I should save all these little pieces because they're going to be sticky. They look, oh my gosh, these would go great with our Calling All Heroes stamp set. Don't they kind of look like something for Batman or some kind of little mask or something? Oh my gosh, those are so cool. Okay, a little scroll moment. Sorry about that. But yeah, then I'll pull all of this out. I'll peel the adhesive off, and then I will have it, and it will be ready to go. Another huge benefit of working with these sheets, and I had to order a bunch more of them because I am using them so much. Let me find the sheet to pull here for just a second. Oh, there you go, up at this end. Is, again, these letters from the little letters, as everybody knows, is my absolute favorite. And so, let's just lift it up. I can stick my little letters in there. Give them a good rub. Okay, maybe I can stick my little letters. Nothing about doing an adhesive presentation and thinking I wouldn't get adhesive on me or everywhere. And now I will have adhesive on my L. I can pick it up and stick it down, and it's going to stick really, really well for me. Okay? So these self-adhesive transfer sheets have become my new adhesive to work with. Oh, and I almost forgot one. This is not listed in the adhesive section, but it definitely is an adhesive to me because it is sticky and tacky. And it's a great way to layer your projects together, to tack photos down and things like that. And so washi tape can be another fun type of adhesive, even if we didn't list it in the adhesive section of the catalog. But you're going to have this nice, well, yeah, Jen. Nice thin adhesive to work with, and it's just like a really thin piece of tape, and so I can go ahead and add it to the edges here if I want, and that's going to be a fun contrast. So just as a really quick review, we have our snail, we have our anywhere glue sticks, we do have our silicone mat, which is a grease release surface to work on, we have our glue dots, we have our crystal effects, we have our two-way glue pens, we have our jumbo sticky rounds, we have our, whatever these things are, Janet. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry, I totally drew a blank. But we have these little shaker frames. We have our adhesive to work with, and then we have our new fast fuse. So I think that's, oh, and our sticky strips. So that's all of our fun adhesives that we have to stick things together in our crafting world at Stampin' Up. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me at remarkablycreated.com. Of course, if you want to purchase anything, you can do so with a catalog and at remarkablycreated.com. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. Take care and God bless.